Hello children, welcome to AIMS India's online classes. So today we will be going to continue the lesson animals in our science subject. Aquatic animals. So what are aquatic animals, children? The animals which live in water. Okay. So animals which live in water are called as aquatic animals. So as you can see here in the picture, so these animals which live in water, such type of animals are called as aquatic animals. Fish, whale, turtle and octopus are a few examples of aquatic animals. Sir, what are aquatic animals? Like what are for example like fish, whale, turtle, octopus, all these and some other more type of animals which live in water are a few examples of aquatic animals. Fish have fins and whales and turtles have pedal like flippers that help them in swimming. So fish have fins. You know children, fish can swim with the help of its fins. No. And here whales and turtles, as you can see in the picture, what do they have? They have got a pedal like flippers. This one, we call it them as flippers. Okay, so which help them in swimming. So with the help of these flippers they are going to swim. Okay, most aquatic animals respire through gills. Okay, so respire in the sense they breathe. Okay, how do they breathe? Most of the aquatic animals, they breathe through their gills. Clear children? Okay, and now what are amphibians? Amphibians. So amphibians like animals such as frog and salamander that can live both in water and on land are called amphibians. So what are they? Which can live both in water and on land. So these type of animals are called as amphibians. So for example, frog and salamander. Okay. So most amphibians have lungs that help them to breathe on land and moist skin that helps them to breathe underwater. So how are they able to breathe? No. So most of the amphibians, they have lungs which help them to breathe. So they have lungs which help them to breathe when they are on land. Okay children, as we learned that, so they are on the land and they are also in the water. No. So when they are on the land, they breathe through their lungs. And what type of skin they are having? They are having a moist skin. Moist skin in the sense a wet skin. Okay. So this wet skin is going to help them to breathe underwater. So when they are in the water, so through this wet skin, they are able to breathe the air. Clear children? Frogs have well developed strong hind limbs that help them to hop on land and webbed feet to help them swim in water. See, frog is performing two type of different duties here. So what are they? Like when it is on the land, so it is hopping. No, it is hopping. And when it is in the water, it is swimming. No, how can is this possible? So because as it got strong hind limbs. Hind limbs is what children? Like hind limbs are nothing but the back limbs. Okay, because of this, so it is able to hop on the land and it has got the webbed feet. Webbed feet. This is the webbed feet. Here you can see. Limb is this part. This is the limb. Okay. So, and because of this web feet, it is able to swim in the water. Clear children? So, when the frog is on the land, it can breathe through lungs, and when it is in the water, it can breathe through skin. So, when it is on the land, it will hop, and when it is in the water, it can swim. Clear children? So, this is about amphibians. And now about aerial animals. Aerial animals. Like what are aerial animals? That can fly. As you can see in the picture, a bird which is flying. No. Animals that can fly and spend their maximum time in the air are called aerial animals. So aerial, that is air, okay? So which can fly and spend their maximum time in the air are called as aerial animals. Birds are examples of aerial animals. Why? Because birds can fly. So that is why they are the examples of aerial animals. They have hollow bones, boat-shaped body, wings and feathers to help them fly. So how is their body structure, children? So how is their body structure? So because their body structure is in such a way that they are able to fly in the air. So how is it? So they have got hollow bones. Hollow bones in the sense the bones does not carry any weight. So they are empty. Okay. So lightweight, that is hollow bones, boat shaped body. Why it is boat shaped body? Because it has to fly. So that is why it has got a boat shaped body. Okay. And they have got wings and feathers also. So because of this they are able to fly. Bats are the only mammals that can fly. So again bat is also able to fly, but that doesn't come under aerial animal. Bat is a mammal. No, bat is a mammal. It can fly. Okay, children, but it doesn't come under aerial animal. Okay. Insects such as butterflies and dragonflies have thin, papery wings that help them to fly. So insects such as butterflies and dragonflies, so they have got very thin and papery wings that help them to fly. So have you observed, children, butterfly wings or flies, dragonflies wings? So they are very delicate and thin. Because of this, they also can fly in the air. Clear, children? So this is about aerial animals. Now we learn about the arboreal animals. What are arboreal animals? Animals that spend a majority of their time on trees are called arboreal animals. So as you can see here in the picture, monkey and koala bear. So they are arboreal animals. Why? Because they spend maximum time on their trees. No. So they just live on trees. So that is why they called as arboreal animals. Monkeys, squirrels, tree lizards and koala bears are examples of arboreal animals. So as we can see in the picture here, monkey and koala bear, and apart from that you also got squirrels. Squirrels, have you observed, children, squirrels on the trees jumping? Okay, so squirrels and tree lizards. So they are all some examples of arboreal animals. These animals have strong limbs and sharp claws that help them in climbing trees. So how are they able to climb the trees? Because of their strong limbs. Strong limbs, okay. So and sharp claws. Sharp claws. So here these are the limbs. So these are the claws, okay. Because of that, so what happens, they can hold the tree branches, okay. That is why they will be able to climb the trees. Clear, children? The tail of monkeys help them to hang on the branches of trees. So with the help of the tail, the monkeys hang on the branches of trees. Have you observed any time monkey hanging on a tree? Yes. So children, so this is how the animals, they are adapted to environment. Like in the beginning, so what we learned that, so the adaptation of environment is based on three characteristics. No. So what are they? Body parts, body coverings and their behavior. No, how are the body parts, body coverings and behavior are designed or framed is according to the environment they live. So here as we learned, like these animals, like arboreal animals, they have got strong limbs and sharp claws so that they can climb the trees. No, so and they can hang on the branches of the trees. same like that. So whatever different type of animals we have learned until now, if in the adaptation to environment, so they are habituated, in the sense they are able to live in that particular surroundings because of their body parts, their body coverings and their behavior. Clear, children? So this is what we learnt about adaptation to environment. So next we are going to move for adaptation for food. On the type of food that animals eat, they are grouped into the following categories. So what is about adaptation for foods, children? So according to the type of food that the animals eat, so they are grouped into different categories. For example, we human beings, we eat plant food, we also eat animal food. No. So same like that, animals also, like they have got different type of eating habits. So according to that, they have divided into different categories. Okay. First we learn about herbivores. Animals that eat only plants are called herbivores. These animals have strong and broad teeth in the front to bite off leaves and grass, and strong chewing teeth with space in between them at the back. See, children, so what are herbivores? Animals that eat only plants. Okay, only plants like grass, all other plants. So such animals are called as herbivores. So how do they eat these, children? So they have got the very strong and broad teeth. So their teeth are not sensitive like ours. So animals have got very strong and broad teeth. So where do they have this strong and broad teeth? In the front, to the front side of their mouth. Okay. So what do they do with these? They'll just bite off the leaves and grass. They'll bite the leaves and grass, and they have got strong chewing teeth. They have got strong chewing teeth which they use for chewing. No, biting is different and chewing is different. So when we take food, so we'll bite. No, we'll bite in the sense we'll just make it into some pieces. Okay, large pieces suppose. So after that what we do, that large pieces again will break it into very small pieces. That is like chewing. Okay, so same like that here, animals also first they bite the leaves and the grass with the help of their front tooth. Okay, which are very strong and broad, and they'll just chew that food, whether it is leaves, grass, whatever plant food is there, they'll chew it with their strong teeth. Where are they? They are at the back. Okay, and how are the children? So they are having space in between them. So back of the animal trees, that is herbivore type of animals, like for example cow. Okay, cow, bull, ox and all that. Now what do they have? So their front teeth are very broad, but at the back they have got space in between the teeth. Okay, and why do they have this space? For grinding. Grinding is nothing but making a smooth substance, like whatever food they have taken, so they will bite it first, chew it and then grind it. In the sense they'll make it a smooth substance. Okay, children, so they are able to travel long distances with the help of their long and strong legs in search of food. So they'll go in search of food. No, they'll go in search of food. They'll travel from one place to another place in search of food. So how are they able to go? They, with their help of their long and strong legs. With the help of their long and strong legs, they are able to walk for so far away places in search of food. Okay, children. For example, deer, giraffe and elephant. These are some examples of herbivores where they travel for very long distances, okay, to get their food. Okay, other examples for herbivores are like cow, and ox, bull, as I said before, even they also come under herbivores because they eat only plant food. Clear, children? Yes. Now here you can see some of the animals here which are herbivores. See here in the picture. So you can see a zebra, you can see grasshopper, here cow. Okay. So this is zebra, grasshopper, cow, rabbit, caterpillar, goat, deer, elephant, all this. And we have so many also other animals. So these are some of the examples of herbivores. Yes, children. Now, plants products are rich in a substance called cellulose. Human beings cannot digest cellulose. Most herbivores have microbes in their digestive tract that help them to digest cellulose. See here, children, you have got a substance called cellulose. Okay, so like as we have fat, carbohydrates, proteins, minerals and all that in the food, no? So here plants, they have got a very rich substance which is called as cellulose. Okay, so this is also a white fibrous substance. Okay, but here this substance, if we eat, that is we human beings eat, we cannot digest it. But if the animals eat that particular cellulose, they can digest it. They can digest it. How can they digest? With their digestive tract. Why? Because they have got, most herbivores, that is these herbivores type of animals, they have got microbes in their digestive tract. So see children, here this is the digestive system of the cow, for example, here. But most of the herbivores, they have got microbes in their digestive tract. With this help, with this microbes help, they are able to digest the cellulose. Okay, children. So even this cellulose is also available in wood, paper, cotton and all these substances. Okay, so the cellulose is very like hard substance which we cannot, that is human beings cannot digest, but herbivores, such type of animals, they are able to digest it with the help of the microbes. Okay, children, clear? So this is one contest in science which we have learned today. Okay, and now we learn about carnivores. Carnivores, what are carnivores? Animals that eat the flesh of the other animals are called carnivores. Okay, so animals which eat the flesh of other animals. Okay, so these are like for example, lion, tiger, no? So what they do, they'll eat the flesh of the other animals. Such type of animals are called as carnivores. These animals have pointed, sharp, long and curved canines to tear the flesh of their prey. See, these animals have got a pointed, sharp, long and curved canines. That canines is nothing but the front teeth, children, here. So they have got a pointed, sharp and long and curved. So like if you see, they are little curved, the front teeth, if you see, they are little curved here at the end. For a lion, tiger, if you no, so they are very sharp and long. Oh, so what do? They are going to tear the flesh of their prey. Prey is nothing but the animal which they kill for their food. No, they hunt the animals if they want to eat the food. No, so and they'll eat that animal. So that is the prey. Okay, their prey. So these animals are able to tear the flesh of their prey, that is the animal which they want to eat. And carnivores chew the flesh and bones with the help of broad and flat grinding teeth present at the back of their mouth. So carnivores, what do? They'll tear the flesh in the sense, so making it into pieces, okay, from the front teeth, and now they are going to chew the flesh and the bones with the help of the broad and flat grinding teeth which are present at the back of their mouth. Okay, children, so they will chew the flesh, I mean the animal flesh and also the bones with the help of their back teeth. And how are their back teeth? They are very broad and flat. Broad and flat, that is grinding teeth. Grinding is making the substance into smooth content. So they make the food smooth so that they get it into their stomach. Okay, children. And these, for example, carnivores are like wolf, tiger and lion. So examples include wolf, tiger and lion. So these are carnivores. So they eat only animal food. Clear, children? Yes, now here you can see in the picture some of the carnivores here. So you have got a fox and a wolf, lion, shark. See, these are all some of the examples of carnivores. And now the third category here, it is omnivores. Omnivores. So who are they? Animals such as bears, crows and human beings eat both plants and the flesh of other animals. So they are called omnivores. See, human beings, we. So we come under which category? Under omnivores. Why? Because we also eat plant food and also animal food. No, we take all vegetables, green leaf vegetables, we'll take eggs, we'll also eat chicken, meat, fish and all that. No, so we eat both type of foods. And not only us, we have some other animals also, like birds, crows, all this. Okay, so they also eat both animal and also plant food. So such type of creatures are called as omnivores. Omnivores. Creatures are nothing but animals only, children. Okay, so the living things. Okay, they are called as omnivores. Clear? So here in the picture you can see people, bear, pigs and hens. So these are all what? Omnivores. Clear, children? Yes, now we look at scavengers. Scavengers, the fourth type, scavengers. Animals that feed on dead and decaying animals are called scavengers. So animals that feed on dead and decaying animals, dead. So dead and decaying. Suppose, for example, we learnt about carnivores. No, so carnivores are animals which eat the animals which are with life. In the sense, if some animal is there, they'll kill it and they'll eat it. But here, scavengers, see, so these animals, they eat the dead and decaying animals. Dead in the sense, already dead animal. Decaying in the sense, somehow it is not feeling well. Some, for example, like it's a rotten or it's a waste, so it has injured, so it is not in a good health. Okay, children, even such type of animals are taken as food by these scavengers. Okay, so animals that feed on dead and decaying animals are called as scavengers. Scavengers. Okay, examples like vultures, jackals, wild dogs and hyenas. Hyenas. Okay, so here you can see, so the picture of a hyena here. These are all the animals which are called as scavengers. Why? Because they eat dead and decaying animals. They eat dead and decaying animals. Scavengers have sharp teeth for ripping and tearing flesh. So ripping is nothing but again cutting it like it's opening the flesh of the animal in a rough manner. Okay, children, so here the scavengers, what do? Scavengers have sharp teeth to cut the flesh and tear the flesh of the animal. Clear, children? So what are scavengers? Scavengers are the animals that feed on dead and decaying animals. Clear? For example, here you have got vultures, wild dogs, hyenas and all. Clear? So now we'll learn about parasites. So parasites. So here, what are parasites? As you can see here in the diagram, so these are all parasites. Organisms that live on or inside the body of other living organisms and depend on them for food are called parasites. So what are parasites, children? So which live inside the body of other living organism or which live on the body of the other living organism. Okay, and they are going to get the food from that particular body. Which body? Any living organism. It may be human being, animal, okay, any type of animal. So from that particular body, these parasites are going to get the food. Okay, so what are parasites? That live on or inside the body of other living organisms, and they are going to depend on them for food. Okay, these are called as parasites. So the animal or inside which the parasite lives is called a host. So what is a host, children? Where the parasite is living. The body which is going to have a parasite inside itself or on itself is called the host. Okay, children. For example, if that is, if I am having a parasite inside my body, then my body becomes the host of that parasite. In the sense, the parasite is going to eat the food it's going to get the food from my body. So that is why I become the host. Clear, children? Here, roundworms, hookworms and tapeworms are parasites that live inside the body of the host. See here in the picture you have got roundworms, tapeworms. Okay, so these are all what? These are the parasites, so which live inside the body of the host. So these we cannot see, when they are inside the body, which we cannot see them, but they live inside the body. And what happens if we have got these parasites in our body? So sometimes we feel like stomach pain, we have a vomiting sensation. So these are going to harm our body. Okay, so these are going to harm. Okay, so that is why we have to take care that no such parasite enters our body. Okay, so have you seen, children, such type of worms? So normally when you get stomach pain, much of the children, you get stomach pain, vomiting and headache sometimes. So this is also one symptom that you have got these worms inside your stomach. So you have to deworm it. So by taking some medicine or some food, so these worms are going to come out of your body in the form of your stool. Okay, in your stool. So this is how you get rid of this parasites. So even now corona is there. No, corona. So it is so very dangerous. Even this is also a virus. So this is also a parasite which is entered the body of the human beings, and it is creating a very big danger for the human beings right now. Okay, children, this virus, bacteria, all these are parasites only. So here we have one more example, that is the lice. Okay, this one, louse. Lice is the plural form, louse is the singular form. So these lice and then ticks and fleas are parasites that live on the surface of the host body. This is host, S-O-S-T, host's body. In the sense, so these creatures, they are going to live on the surface of the body of the animal, any animal or human being. Okay, so lice, this you are very familiar with this. No, where do they live, children? In the hair, on our head. No, they live in our head. No, these same like this, ticks and fleas, they are also parasites which live on the surface. They do not live inside the body like this worms and all are living. They live on the surface of the body, above the body. Okay, the mouth of these organisms is adapted to suck blood from the host body. See how danger are they? So they are going to suck the blood of us. How? With their mouth. The mouth is adapted such that, this mouth is in such a way that they are going to suck the blood from the host's body. In the sense, on whichever body they are living, they are going to suck the blood of that particular body. Clear, children? So that is why we say that parasites cause danger to the host's body. In whichever body or whatever body they are living, so they are going to cause a great loss to that particular body. Clear, children? So this is about parasites. Children, so this is what we have learnt about adaptations for food, like how animals have been adapted for taking their food. So, and under this category, like what we have learnt about parasites, we have learnt about scavengers, omnivores, carnivores, and like herbivores. Yes or no, children? So this is all we have learned for in the category adaptations for food. Okay, children, so I am going to stop here for today's session. So we will be continuing this lesson in tomorrow's session. So until then, take care and stay well. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon for receiving latest updates.